Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I feel like ranting about something that's revolving around my work. So as some of you know, I work as a waitress part-time at a small cafe restaurant, which is also a small farm that grows crops. It doesn't involve animals. It is run just by a few people because my boss can't afford extra help. It's a very small business. Now, I don't rant often, but stupid things have been happening lately, revolving around my work. And I'm not mad at my job, I love working there, but it's all these new rules and regulations that we have to follow to have to be able to run a small business in California. And they are ridiculous. If anyone's thinking about starting a business in California, or a small food/farm selling business, I'm warning you now, it's gonna suck. Unless you come from a super rich family or something, I'd advise you to you'd have much better luck in another state. I don't know how other state laws are compared to California's, but I hear from people who are from out of state who visit that our regulations are the worst, is what they say. A lot of people are moving out because of it, and no one can thrive here. Anyway, let me share with you some of the things that have been happening here. But maybe I should first say that the owner that I work for has been running this little family farm business for probably about over 20 years now. A bit over, maybe. I asked, and I think that's what he said. We jar vegetables, such as pickles, peppers, beets, sauerkraut. We also do jams and jellies, and we also serve pastries and sandwiches, and yeah, we grow crops too, and when the time comes, we sell fresh produce. Okay, now that I gave you some background information at the place that I work at, I'll tell you now about the stupid things that are slowly starting to happen. Well, they are happening now, but over time, they just kind of came into effect. Okay, every now and then we'd get a nice health inspector, and they'd give us a break because they'd know how hard small businesses are having it in California. But they'd rotate with their job and then go somewhere else, and so new different ones would come in, and these new ones are like super strict and do everything by the book, expecting perfection. And we try our best to earn that A rating, we really do, but they keep raising the standards of how to run a shop, and it's getting really hard to keep up with it. For example, the first stupid thing that the health inspector started making us do is put our jarred pickled goods into the refrigerator and put a label on them that they need to be refrigerated. Which is so dumb because they're jarred goods. They don't need to be refrigerated. It's the whole point of jarring them. No one has ever been reported sick from them. It's not like we store them in a hot car. Shelf storage should be just fine. The only problems we've had with jars is if they have not been sealed correctly. If they hadn't been sealed correctly, it would be obvious, and if the customer walks out and sees that it hasn't been sealed correctly, they'd come back and be allowed to replace it for a new one. It's how we used to do things here, and the method had worked just fine for all this time we've been doing it. So this new way of putting jars in the refrigerator, it makes me frustrated. It doesn't need to happen. It's so ridiculous. Oh, and they're also making us refrigerate any jam or jelly that has peppers in it. Any spicy jam and any jarred good that has vegetables in it has to be refrigerated now. It's a pain in the butt because the refrigerator that we have to display these jarred items have glass doors so everyone can see inside, but it's always running, which makes it very expensive to be on all the time. The other thing that bothers me is that you need to have a license now to be able to sell anything. They're making my boss get a license now to sell pickled vegetables in jarred sauerkraut or soup or whatever, even though he's been doing that, selling this stuff for like the beginning of his small farm business. Now getting a license is only like $100 or so, he told me, but you have to do a bit more than that. You have to then send your jars off to inspectors to make sure that they're okay to sell. Which is so dumb and way too expensive to do all the time. We're just a small business and we don't make that much profit. Canning vegetables and especially sauerkraut is one of his big incomes too, so we're in a pickle. If he gets caught selling any of them anymore without a license, they are allowed to dump them out into a dumpster. They open them up and they dump them out. And I guess then he'd get fined, but I'm not sure about that second part yet. The first part has happened so far at the farmer's market. He got caught trying to sell them still. Oops. But still, it's pretty evil. Everyone's asking, where are your jarred goods? You used to sell those all the time, and now I can't. It's so evil. Also, you can't sell eggs between neighbors anymore unless you get them certified first. I think that's the newest rule I've heard so far. A lady friend got fined in town for selling homegrown chicken eggs, and she called and warned us about it, so we stopped doing it too. We used to help sell local homeowner chicken eggs for them at our shop, but now we can't unless the owner gets them certified first. I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of any more at the moment. But yeah, there's so many regulations on tiny businesses that it's making them really hard to succeed here. A new business pops up for about a year in my town and then disappears the very next, it seems. And the only reason that the farm I'm working at is staying afloat is because my boss's parents are helping it stay afloat. Well, at least when business is in distress anyway, we have like really slow days sometimes. And my boss can only afford one staff member at a time to work with, which kind of sucks on super busy days, but at least I get my exercise for the day running around everywhere. Yay. Yay for exercise. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. I can't think of anything else to add to it. There's probably more, but that'll be it for now. Yeah, I just felt like I needed to talk about it because I feel like people need to hear about how these tiny farms are struggling. I'm witnessing it, and it's not pretty. It's evil is what it is. Also, if you attend farmers markets and are wondering why vendors are disappearing, it's probably because they're raising the standards there too. My boss can't afford to go to most of them anymore because they keep raising the price for a spot. And they also have been limiting him what he can and can't sell. So he's getting fed up with all the rules everywhere. So he stopped attending most of them. Yeah, he's only been going to the super local in-town farmers market. Everyone's sad, but yeah, that's just how it's gonna have to be. Okay, I'm done with that rant. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the picture. It was just a fun idea that popped into my mind with the combination of Alice in Wonderland standing beside a red Xenomorph queen alien. It won the vote for my Patreon supporters, and I think it turned out okay, so I hope you guys like it too. Yeah. Okay, you guys take care. I'm out of here.